Hello everyone, my name is Lowko and it's time for another viewer submitted game, and what I got for you today is a match right here on Neon Violet Square. Spawning in the bottom right hand corner and playing with the red PROTOSS probes, we have... Oh! No... Hold up. We have none other than HDF Hovcase. I was just reading his nickname. I was wondering how I was going to pronounce that. Then I glanced over at the minimap and I realized that apparently his opponent is already sending out probes across the map. Speaking of which, spawning in the top left corner and already sending out probes for a probe rush, he goes by the nickname of Niels. Now apparently, the scouting worker right there of Mr. Hovcase will indeed confirm that something is not quite right. He's immediately pulling all of his own workers, desperately trying to set up a wall, but he doesn't have the minerals for that. I think he's setting up a wall. Yeah, he's just going for a single pylon there and a second one as well. Then he realized he didn't have the minerals for it. He does need to attack move though with all of these probes. Probes are just derping around in the back. Niels is not doing a great job microing his stuff either. For some reason, he's attacking the pylon. Niels, what are you... Just attack move. Both of these guys, you can mineral walk maybe once or twice, but just attack move. And I think that somehow, some way, even though Niels didn't have an appropriate amount of workers there, he did just manage to somehow win that fight. Now these probes though still derping around a bunch, and actually, they're being sacrificed. Oh no, under the watchful eye of Valerian Mansk. Apparently the PROTOSS probes are now locked out of their own main base as Mr. HDS Hovcase just managed to somehow, some way, wall off his own main, and he's got two probes. I mean, sort of safely mining here? This is gonna get a little bit messy. In the meantime, though, on the other side of the map, Niels did manage to get himself another pylon up. I guess he plans on creating, I don't know, he really needs workers. Honestly, workers are just simply gonna win this game. I love it already, though. Hovcase, he is taking a lot of damage right now on these pylons. For some reason, these probes are really committed. Oh my god, all of them are currently being right-clicked on one pylon, rather than what he was doing previously. Now a bunch of them are just simply derping around. I'm really curious, though, as to what he wants to do. Is he... I'm assuming, considering this is PROTOSS versus PROTOSS... He opened the big PROTOSS book of cheese, right? He went to page 14 and found out that apparently probe rush is one of the available strategies. However, immediately as a potential follow-up, it was also mentioned that you can still go for the photon cannons. Here come the probes once again. They're ready to fight for round number 2. One of the probes desperately making ring around the Rosie. Mr. Hovcase, send these workers to mining, you madman. Somehow, some way though, even though this probe apparently was not really doing a whole lot, he did manage to, at the very least, sufficiently help out that probe force to prevent all of these probes here from dying. What a mess. Now Niels apparently has now come up with a follow-up. I mean, he still, technically speaking, has more workers. He also, somehow, some way, and I love this, right? He also... Wait, oh... So wait, Hovcase, why did you not kill the cannon while you were at it? He literally, okay, I was just comparing the chrono boost there. Literally look away for a second, look into the main base and the probes are gone. For some reason, Mr. Hovcase here thought it would be a great idea to send the probes down into the low ground and then attack the probe that was constructing a single photon cannon. Now the probe just simply met death while not really doing anything else. Fun fact, if a photon cannon just gets started with building, you can actually go ahead and kill it with only 3 workers. So, you know, you just needed to attack move right on top of it while it was building, and it probably would have gone down. Anyway, is he gonna make a... No, dude! Wow, that was almost sad. That guy had a family. You saw him running right there in the nick of time as well. Now, a reinforcing probe of Niels has indeed now arrived on the other side of the map. Niels, have you found another page in the... You should do the Crescent Moon Rush, right? Look, what is one photon cannon achieving? It's making so that all the PROTOSS probes are gonna be forced into the main base. What if you make like 6 cannons, Niels? This is a very popular strategy in viewer-submitted games that I absolutely adore. You don't just go for a single photon cannon, where you can go for 5. Somehow, some way though, Niels is still busy, I guess, just simply not chrono boosting out his workers, but slowly but surely adding them on. I do think though that he's gonna be in a superior lead, right? Because he's already managed to successfully contain his opponent, and while Mr. Hovcase is not really doing anything either. Okay, looks like he's finally gonna make something. Yeah, look. Just make a gateway, dude. This guy's gonna be busy here for. Oh my god, Niels. You don't need. It was a joke, Niels. It was a joke. I mean, you may as well just commit into the main base with the fight right now as well, right? Apparently, HDS, though, doesn't quite want to deal with this. He's gonna send out 4 probes, 2 of them wearing valuable minerals as well, because they have been pretty scarce so far into this match. But Niels did just find himself with a bunch of additional resources, and apparently he is now following this up with a photon cannon rush into the main base of his opponent. Now, while Mr. Hofcase was getting a little bit... He didn't make a gateway, he just... Wait. Hofcase is countering a cannon rush with cannons? I love it. Niels, put him down right there, dude. In the middle of... Yeah, no. Niels, why? You know that cannon of his is gonna finish up sooner. Yours will never be able to beat that. That's... No, Niels. Wait. There's 2 cannons that were built before yours. Why would you... Alright, Niels apparently really desperately wants to try and see if he can, you know, succeed in potentially beating his opponent right now. Hofcase, though, fighting fire with fire. Still desperately trying to add on as much as possible. Dude, you should make more cannons. Like, yeah, no, exactly. Make them like in like a crescent moon shape. It's the way to do it, dude. Yeah, no, definitely. Alright, so... Niels, I was already disappointed by your choice of strategy. What? Niels, did you take basic math and logic skills in school? Like, primary 2 is what I'm talking about? Like... Oh my... Okay. Well, hey. That wasn't the most clever move there of our PROTOSS player in blue. I wonder what his next strategy is going to be, right? I mean, so he's gone for the probe rush. He's gone for the cannon rush. Next up must be Dark Templar, right? If I'm just thinking along with Niels right here, and I think of the great PROTOSS Book of Cheese, I think it's time to add on some gateways and go up to Dark Templar, dude. That's definitely the way to go. Apparently, though, Niels has once more decided that he wants to send out another probe across the map. We see these gateways now being constructed here as well by HDS, so he's gonna slowly start teching up. English! Says Niels out of nowhere. English! Yes. I love it. Alright, English. Alright, he's trying to, maybe this is another page out of the PROTOSS Book of Cheese, right? When your cannon rush fails, you can always follow it up with, for example, trying to confuse your opponent with chatting in-game, right? Maybe Mr. Hofcase will forget how to make probes or any kind of structure here if you just simply... In English, please? What? Niels, wait. Okay, I don't know what's going on, guys. Mr. Hofcase also doesn't really know exactly what's up. He's like, what's up, buddy? Like, all right. Anyway, maybe distraction with words is definitely going to be another mental strategy. Now, Hofcase, though, in the meantime, is now queuing up several hundreds of resources off of a very small economy. Both players, though, somehow, some way, still getting a relatively synchronized build here. The first 8 minutes have been a little bit rough, but Niels, I mean, there's no denying that he's currently got a pretty good contain, right? I guess that is what 3 cannons are achieving that one wouldn't really properly have. I think these 3 cannons are gonna make it pretty tricky to move down a ramp. Because Zealots, for example, are gonna have a really tough time. Don't get him stuck, though, Hofcase. Don't get him stuck. Alright, lucky for him, they did spawn outside of the gateway. Sometimes they will spawn in these little corners, and if you don't set the rally point, it's a little bit scary. Now, this one pylon, though, is powering pretty much everything over here, right? Incredible. Incredible. Now, our robotics facility does come up here for our player in red. Niels, in the meantime, finally getting himself his gases. I think he was planning to go for warp gates, or at the very least wanted to get any kind of additional tech structure, and then found out, hey, wait a second, everything that comes after Cybercore requires gas? Alright, well, hey, up to this point in the game, truth be told, right, he's probably mostly been playing ladder games so far, where he's just gone for probes, as well as, you know, photon cannons, so, you know, neither of those require any gas, so he probably just found out. Niels is now also getting himself some shield batteries on the other side of the map, and, of course, right, when you commit to the crescent moon, it's not looking like a really weird crescent moon, to be honest, so far, but when you commit to the cannon rush, you commit to the cannon rush, right? There's no, like, you can't just follow this. Okay, well, Alright, well, you can't just follow it up with just one gateway is what I was gonna say. This is, for some reason, a really common thing to do on the lower end of the ladder in StarCraft, guys. When you're doing a single cannon and it's preventing your opponent from making a certain move, that cannon already fulfilled its you know, usefulness. There is usually no particular reason to make 7 cannons. Unless you want to really defend your own bases, and this is pretty common if you go, say like you're going up to carriers or whatever, right? And you have a lot of leftover minerals because the strategy you're going for is pretty gas heavy. You've got a lot of leftover minerals, then it's not too weird to follow it up right now with for example, some additional cannons, but this just seems a little bit awkward. Anyway, Hofgeist is apparently now also opening up a page of his own PROTOSS Book of Cheese. He's now following it up with a Warp Prism, as well as a Dark Shrine, as well as a Robotics Facility. In the meantime, on the map, Niels is doing absolutely nothing. He's finally figured out that there is indeed a Chrono Boost button on his Nexus. He's currently queuing up a ton of workers here as well. I am not entirely sure what his plan is going to be, though. Is he once... Oh my... Don't tell me... Oh my god, he's once again rallying another probe there across the map. Don't tell me he's actually... Don't tell me he's actually gonna add on more cannons. Don't tell me you're gonna make more cannons there, dude. At least make another pylon, just because this is the one pylon to rule them all. The one pylon to bind them and in the darkness find them. I'm actually quite impressed, though, because while the game was loading up, right, Mr. Hofgeist had a Platinum League border. You know, I don't know, but seems a little wonky. Anyway, Probe has now arrived on the other side of the map. Dark Shrine is just about to finish up here as well. Now, Hofgeist, of course, he will have Dark Templar, but there's no denying that there are a lot of photon cannons here that do indeed also provide detection. There's now also the follow-up in that robotic facility with a PROTOSS observer. So hopefully Hofgeist can see if his opponent is going for any kind of Dark Templar here as well. But anyways... 2 Immortals have been loaded up into the Warp Prism. In the meantime, on the other side of the map, we see both the Twilight Council, as well as the Stargate, as well as the Robotics Facility being produced. Niels is not quite entirely sure what kind of tech he wants to go for, and since he's got a lot of resources, he figured I'm just gonna make every kind of tech. Right, when in doubt, just do everything. Oh, no, that's another one. So general rule of thumb, 1, you know, secondary tech structure per base, maybe 1.5 is good. I would say 4 of these right here. A little bit tricky to afford off of just a single base. Of course, I did just make the assumption that your macro would be on point. In the meantime, though, another Stargate has been added on, and apparently Dark Templar are being warped in here for Mr. Hofgeist. I actually have no clue how this game is going to end, right? Because there's technically more than enough detection here for Niels. At the very least, he can go ahead and produce photon cannons as well as observers and whatnot, so the Dark Templar shouldn't necessarily deal all that much damage. Hofgeist, though, apparently he's just waiting for his additional gateways right now to finish up. His main base is running desperately low on resources, and he doesn't really have a proper way of expending, other than, of course, maybe getting like a probe inside of that Warp Prism and then unloading it, say, at the gold base. Right now, Niels doesn't know about any of that. He's actually not oh my... Niels... So wait, let me get this straight. You went for the probe rush, into the cannon rush, into the fleet beacon. From photon cannons to fleet beacon, okay? There's at least like 5 steps in between. Either way though, Niels is now following this up with a single Void Ray. Dark Templar are once more being warped in, and Hofgeist, I mean, he's on a bit of a timer right now. As soon as there's gonna be a bunch of Stargate units out, right? He's gonna be in a world of hurt. As, of course, he doesn't really have anything that shoots up here, right? So indeed, Hofgeist just confirmed there is no natural expansion. That's nice. He still does have a couple of thousand resources. Actually, both players do have a couple of thousand resources. Dark Templar are moving into the main base. Is that really how this... Is that really how this game is gonna end? No, just make an observer, dude, or photon cannons or anything. Niels, what are you... Niels! Oh my god. See, it's been a long time since I first started playing StarCraft 2 myself as well. I don't recall a lot of the strategies that I went for back in the day. But in my mind, right, when I think back of those days, I feel like I did reasonably well. I feel like I did that. I like how he had a void ray as well, but then he just went AFK. He's like, I can't believe it, Dark Templar. Disgusting. I'm gonna make a forum post about this. He literally didn't do anything anymore. He literally didn't do anything. After the void ray came out and he saw the Dark Templar in the base, he must have just simply rage quit in real life or something, and then he walked back to the computer only to leave the game without a GG. What a, yeah, interesting match of PROTOSS versus PROTOSS. I hope you enjoyed watching this video though. If you did, make sure you hit that like button down below. And if you want to see more, make sure you hit that subscribe button so you get a notification as soon as I upload more. Other than that, I want to thank you for watching. Have an amazing day. Do not forget to smile, alright? And by the way, please be nice to the people in these games. I know these games may be a little bit cringy and they may be a little bit frustrating to watch. But please be respectful to the people that submit these games because it's awesome. It's really cool. If you have an awesome game of yourself as well, you can go ahead and submit it to replays@LowkoTV. But I can't promise that I won't make at the very least just a tiny little bit fun of you. Okay, just a light, just a tiny little bit, just a wee bit. Anyway, guys, I'll see you in the next one.